Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm joined here at the table by Kerry Tittinger, who's a freshman student. She's to my left, and she's joined by her parents, Jim and Renee, and by her little sister, Kylie. So we're happy to have you all here at St. Vincent. And before I turn this over to Kerry, I want to make a very few brief remarks. First, on behalf of the entire Saint Vincent College community, I want to welcome Kerry back to our campus. We missed you. And we all breathed a big sigh of relief when we found out that you were safe after the earthquake and that you had been evacuated. So it's good to have you back home. Last night in our student chapel, we had a mass of thanksgiving for her safe return, as well as of remembrance for those who did not survive the earthquake or today face dire hardship in reassembling their shattered lives. So we're united with them in prayers, with this family of prayer for the people of Haiti. And I also want to announce today that Saint Vincent College will be sending a mission group of students to Haiti when this semester ends. And I've asked Kerry to help us form this delegation and perhaps lead it. And she and her parents are going to discuss this. But she's certainly going to share today and then with her fellow students what she lived there in Haiti and its beauty and the beauty of the people of Haiti. And we feel as a Catholic Benedictine college, it's our moral responsibility and spiritual imperative to bring hope and joy to those who suffer. In a little over a month, some of our students will go to Guatemala during spring break, and about 24 will go to serve AIDS orphans in Brazil, near our Benedictine monastery. And over the weekend, 50 students took part in local service projects commemorating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose tremendous legacy we celebrate today. I'll be taking 12 students to Calcutta, India in May as my last official act as president of St. Vincent, and this will be my fourth group to go to the missions of Mother Teresa. Our college believes that this education in the world complements what is delivered in the classroom, and that it marries faith and reason, prayer and work, love and service. Kerry's living proof of this, that she would go and spend some of her Christmas break working with the people of Haiti. Finally, there are many unaccounted for in Haiti today, and I want to request the prayers of all of us for 2 university professors and 4 students from Lynn University who remain missing. But for the grace of God, Kerry and her mom could have numbered among this group. St. Vincent collected money over the weekend for Haiti relief, and we will be sending that soon to Catholic Relief Services and the Missionaries of Charity. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of our finest, Kerry Tittinger, class of 2013. She's a psychology major from Huntingtown, Maryland. She plays on our women's lacrosse team. She's already made herself at home at Saint Vincent College, and she and her mom were part of a 10-person mission trip from Jesus the Divine Word Parish in the Archdiocese of Washington, a parish pastored by a very fine priest, Father Dan Leary, who's a friend of mine and who knew Mother Teresa and has been active with the Missionaries of Charity. Kerry will tell about her time in Haiti as well as the events immediately following the terrible earthquake, and then she's happy to answer any questions. Kerry, welcome back.
Thank you.
Scoot over just a little.
When I first showed up, I didn't really know what to expect. My mom had gone the same time last year, and I was just really excited to go, and I felt God wanted me there. We got off the plane, and it's just chaos, and you drive through the streets, and they don't even have paved streets most of the time. There's pigs just running around, and roosters, and people living on streets with just tin roofs hanging off the edges and stuff. And to see that kind of poverty really is very sad, to know that how lucky we are here, and it put a lot of things in perspective for me. While there, we worked with babies who were at an orphanage, and there were some babies who were not as healthy and some who were healthier. But sometimes the parents weren't able to take care of them, so the sisters, the Missionaries of Charity, would take them in and take care of them. So our job was to go in there, and we would pick them up, and we would just give them love, because they don't have enough of that, because they're away from their families most of the time. It was amazing to see the joy that they have, even with the little amount that they possess, and it truly teaches you a lot. when the earthquake happened, I was actually outside in a little play fenced-in area. It was probably 10 by 10, and I had the older kids who were ages about 3 to 8, and they had actually just been served ice cream as a treat. They get that about 2 times a year, so they were really excited. And we were sitting out there, and I heard rolling thunder, and I didn't know what it was because I've never experienced an earthquake before, but things just started shaking. So I was sitting on the ground, and I just grabbed all of them, and we sort of just made a huddle together, and things were falling off of the roof. There was debris and rubble, and God put a bubble around us. There were 12 kids and me were unharmed. Nothing hit us at all, and we just stayed outside until the shaking stopped. And when the shaking stopped, we ran in because that was the fenced-in area had no exits to the outside. You had to go back through the building. So when we went through the building, I dropped them off, and my mom had run in saying that there was going to be aftershocks. So we had to get all the kids out as quickly as possible, and there's about 100 kids in this facility. So I grabbed 3 kids and someone else who was with me, and we just grabbed as many babies as we could, and we ran out to an open area. The buildings are really on top of each other, so it's hard to find an open space. And we sat there and just made a big huddle of 100 kids, and then the 10 that I was with, and then there was also 7 other volunteers there. And we made just a huddle and just started praying, and we sent a text message back home to Father Dan to let him know that there's been an earthquake and we're okay. And thank God that we sent that, because we lost service after that, so at least they knew that we were okay and we were still alive after it. But it was just amazing to see the faith that they had as we were sitting there. I remember the one girl who, she was probably all of 5, and she just sat there waving her arm and talking to God and praising God that she was still alive. So, I mean, the things like that are the things that really stick in my mind, that they have nothing, so they fall back on faith. And that's something that taught me a lot while there and, surviving the earthquake. I knew God wanted me there to hold those babies and to get those babies out safely, because we got all of them out safely, not a scratch on any of them. So, I mean, that's what I experienced, and it was absolutely amazing.